Okay, this video is an answer key to a question in class. We have a complicated circuit with capacitors and a series parallel combination. Let's get started on it. I see I've got a parallel part here, but then two series. So this part needs reciprocally added. So 1 over C total equals 1 over 5 plus 1 over 5. That, of course, is going to give us a 2.5 equivalency here, and that's microfarads. And then this is in parallel. So the 2.5, which is a combination of these two, is in parallel with that. So I can just add that up. And then really I'm left with the series already. So let me draw this kind of quickly here. We have our 9-volt battery. Okay. And then a 5, another 5, and then a 7.5. Those are all the capacitors there. And I'll come around here with a 5. And let me label all that. So I'll just label this one as a 5 microfarad. I'll label this one as a 5, and this one's our 7.5. And this is another 5 here. And of course our 9 volts is there. And I'm just leaving all the units off to make this easy since I'm simplifying it. Okay, then I have to get the C total for all of this. So, of course, it's all series, so I'm going to reciprocally add that. 1 over C total equals 1 over 5 plus 1 over 5 plus 1 over 7.5 plus 1 over 5. Okay, and then we get a C total equal to 1.36. And that, of course, is microfarads. Now, I want to get the charge on all those guys, so I'm going to use Q equals C times V. So I'll take the 1.36 and multiply that by 9. And that's going to give us 12.3 microcoulombs. So I'm going to go back to this circuit here and go, okay, I know that 5 really is over here. This 5 is really over there, and so is that 5. So I'm just going to put, 12.3 microcoulombs next to each of those. And likewise here. So anytime I know that these are the same over there, I'll just go to my diagram there. Okay, and then how do I get volts? Well, volts is going to be this charge divided by this microfarad capacitor value. Because just rearranging our equation, volts is equal to Q divided by C. Well, when I take 12.3 divided by 5, I do get 2.45. So I'm going to label, 2.45 volts here. And of course, that's the same. So 2.45 volts there. And this one, of course, is the same too. So 2.45 volts there. Okay. Now this one here, of course, is a combination over here. So I'm going to write stuff right on this one here. Well, I know this is 0.3 microcoulombs also on this. But now what can I do? Well, I'm going to need to divide this by 7.5, and that gives me 1.64 volts. So what does that mean? Well, that 1.64 volts is on a 7.5 microfarad capacitor, but that is a combination of two things here. So I'm going to go back here. I'll label this 1.64 volts for this branch and 1.64 volts for this branch. Well, this one only contains one capacitor, so then I can Q equals CV that. So I'm going to say the charge on my 5 is going to then equal Q equals C times V, so it'll be 5 times 1.64 volts. Okay, and that, of course, is going to give me 8.2 microcoulombs. So I'm going to write that here. 8.2 microcoulombs. Okay, so there's 1.64 volts on this and 8.2 microcoulombs on that. Okay, now what about this here? Well, this 1.64 is actually for a 2.5 microfarad capacitor in combination of these two here. Okay, so then I'm going to need to figure out the charge that exists just on the 2.5. And then I can unravel that to figure out what is on each of these. So, or I can think to myself, I know my volts are going to be split in half because I have a 1.64 volts and there's 2 microfarad capacitors that are equal to each other. Okay, so I can do that. Okay, so I know there's going to be 0.82 volts on this one or 0.82 volts on this. Okay, so or I could also have done Q equals CV to get the microfarad capacitors or the charge as well on that. Well, I know that there's this many volts then, so I can say Q is equal to CV, so 5 times 0.82, and that's going to be the same for both of them. And that comes out to be 4.1 microcoulombs. I'm going to try to write that in there. So 4.1 microcoulombs. Trying to fit that in there, okay? So again, there's a variety of ways of doing this, okay? And I've just chosen that I know that my volts is going to divide by 2. But again, if I didn't choose that, then I could have done my Q is equal to my 2.5 times my 1.64. Okay, and that'll give me my 4.1 microcoulombs, and then I could have taken 4.1 divided by 5 to get my volts. So I just want to make sure I at least talked about both ways that can be done. Okay, now I have charge and volts on all the capacitors, and I'm done analyzing the circuit.